Hi guys, I'm Mike.
And I'm Stephen.
And this is Indy Fanatics, your home for IndyCar content with weekly podcasts and feature videos. Welcome back to the IndyCar Podcast and to another race reaction, and hello! The Spaniard gets his second victory. He won the season opener at Barber. He takes a firm grip on the NTT IndyCar Series Championship. And if you're out there watching, Alex, we hope you appreciated the celebration. Because, you know, only special drivers get that type of celebration.
I don't think anyone else, even Pato, didn't go in sync
no.
cheer of his name.
No, so there you go.
He's reached a new honour in the celebration.
New honour, because I'll tell you what, Palou is, we said in our mid-season review, he's been the driver of the season so far and continues to do it. But what we have to do, we have to come on what was an absolute brilliant race at Road America. We have to come down to a down point because pole sitter Joseph Newgarden dominated the race. Absolutely dominated. Did not put a foot wrong. Ed Jones's right rear tyre just collapsed at the end.
Yep.
With 5 laps to go. 2 laps green. Joseph Newgarden looks like he's going to pull away into the distance again. And his car dies on him.
Just dies.
Dies. He had a problem earlier in the race where he got stuck in third and couldn't upshift. I don't know if that is the issue.
Yet again, he leads the most laps.
It's not going to be Penske's year. It's not going to... Yeah, absolutely, he did. And it's not going to be Penske's year, is it? Because I've got to feel... my overriding emotion... It's so good for Alex. Like, you know, you can't not be happy for him. He in himself drove a brilliant race to work himself up from P5 to P2. Anyway,
make your own luck.
Yeah.
And he was there all the way, pushing Newgarden.
Absolutely. And he was there pushing Newgarden at the end regardless. That maybe pushed Newgarden into that fight. But, man, it's heartbreaking for Joseph because he has driven 2 races back-to-back absolutely flawlessly. And in Detroit race 2, he got stuffed by a caution, not caution, nothing to do with his fault. He had to pit to cover, but the caution never came. And then in this race, just mechanical issue. Yeah. And motorsport sometimes is really cruel.
Yeah.
So
real heartbreak in that one.
Yeah, thought, man, I know Joseph Newgarden's going to bounce back, but it's such a gut punch, mustn't it? He was going to be right in the championship fight. He would have been, I believe, under 40 points with the race win. Maybe not. Maybe it would have been around about the 42, 41 point mark, but he was right in the championship fight. Now he's 88 points behind. It's not impossible, but it's a really uphill task. And the championship fight kind of feels like it's between 3 guys.
Yep.
Palou, Pato, and that guy who always is thereabouts, had a terrible weekend pace-wise, didn't make it into the Fast 12, started P13, and somehow, again, finishes P4. Because that is what Scott Dixon does.
That's what he does.
That's what he does.
P4, we didn't even... Well, we saw him moments during the race. Just pops up P4, like, hey guys, I'm here, I'm in the championship.
It's just what Scott does. It is literally just what Scott does. But I think what we have to say, we'll go back to start. This race reaction, as always, is a bundled mess of there as we go along. But the race start, clean, awesome racing.
Oh, yes.
Like from the
lots
first
of moves.
Yeah.
Although the common theme of Road America this year was elbows fully out. Everyone was punting everyone to the outside on turn 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, and turn 5 pushing out onto the shoulder of that curb.
Maybe I'm thinking of turn 5.
Maybe you were going from there, but Ryan Hunter-Reay was a big guy pushing out there. And a guy who was sending moves left, right, and centre all race. The guy who has got to be Mr. Action for the race. I don't know if that's a thing, but I'm making that a thing. Mr. Action. Roman Grosjean Jeez, the guy just looks like he loves IndyCar.
Yeah.
He is having the time of his life. Top 5 finish today as well. Brilliant.
We know he loved to battle in F1, and now he's actually got a car that can hold together going wheel to wheel.
Brilliant. Absolutely. But the wheel-to-wheel fighting at the start was insane. Jack Harvey moved up into P2. Palou moved up. It was just exchanges of positions, left, right and centre. Guys looked like they were making massive things, but when it settled, Ron Hunter-Reay had just made one place and Pato had just made place. Yeah. But it kind of felt like they were charging up through the wheel. Pagenaud was a big loser at the start. He dropped back. He
just kept going back. And then got the strategy. I think he must have had a late problem in the pits or something, because he dropped way off the pace after one of the pit stop rounds.
Yeah, it was crazy. But
Penske mechanical issues is what we expect in 2021.
Apparently it is. They are having an Andretti style season of last year, where just nothing pieces together. And Will Power has managed to get on the podium, so that was positive for Power.
Out of nowhere,
on that basis.
But start of the race,
it set the tone for the race.
Yeah, everyone crazy battles.
There was just battles throughout the field, throughout the entirety of the race.
Then we had 4 cautions in total. First caution, let me see if I can remember these. First caution was Jimmy Johnson. That was quite midway through the race. We kind of had a clean midway first half, and then we had these caution. Second one I want to say is Marcus Ericsson.
Yep.
Who's actually, we'll come on to him. Actually had a great recovery drive. Third was Kevin Magnussen. That's a heartbreaker.
And we'll make a note. Kevin Magnussen, he's led his first laps in IndyCar by going on an alternate strategy. He was never going to win the race unless a caution came out in a situation. But he was brilliant. Had a bit of an off earlier in the race, learning those boundaries. But considering the guy had 3 practice sessions and a qualifying,
it's not a lot.
No.
Even Cody Wares had like a good few number of days fully testing that car.
Yeah, even Oliver Askew had times.
Well, Oliver Askew's had a whole season. Most of the season.
Coming into this year, on top of that full season, he had testing with Andretti.
Yeah.
And, he got practice with...
I was thinking Cody Ware's the natural comparison there.
It is. You're spot. Good one. But Kevin, heartbreaking for him. But fingers crossed, I think he would be in a fantastic addition to the series.
Quick.
He looked quick when he got there, and he got elbows out racing, and he was fighting with the best, and he made it itself very difficult to overtake on track. I mean, Newgarden couldn't. It was only till the pit that he overtook.
Yeah.
And Sato managed to finish in the top 8. Could Magnussen have got a top 10 finish?
Exactly.
If the car hadn't died on him?
Having those fresh tyres on that last restart.
Although Sato did go quite a few laps deeper.
Yeah, but he still would have had fresh tyres.
Well, absolutely.
He could have got near that top 10.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. So, wow. Magnussen,
heartbreaker. So that was third. And then the final one that I guess Joseph Newgarden would have hoped would have ended the race under caution, but not quite long enough, was Ed Jones, as we mentioned. Left rear tyre failure. Don't really know what happened because it kind of folded in on itself.
Yeah, it was really
So I'm not
weird.
sure if there was a problem with the actual...
I presume the drive shaft just kind of...
That's the one, drive shaft.
Well, I presume it just went.
Yeah.
Maybe suspension failure.
As we said, elbows out. There was lots of contacts, so maybe something came undone.
I'll tell you what, Mr. Action guy, Roman Grosjean, but Ed Jones had his best race for Dale Coyne as well. Serious pace throughout the entire race. And it is gutting, actually, that he did have that problem in the end, because he was superb all the way through the race. His definite best race in IndyCar since his return.
Yeah. I realised I didn't really talk about Jimmy Johnson. Looked decent, but another error. He just didn't lift off. He went wide, and he just didn't lift off.
Yeah.
So he just needs to learn to be a bit cautious, because he had the pace on track to stay within the field. Like, he was ahead of Keller and he may have even been ahead of Hinchcliffe, or maybe behind him. He was within there. He didn't have to full beans it.
He was
off
fighting
road.
with the back of the pack.
Yeah.
And he was
there.
on the lead lap.
He was there.
Absolutely.
But Marcus, okay, so we had Jimmy Johnson, bad. We had Ed Jones, heartbreaking. And we had Kevin Magnussen, heartbreaking. But Marcus Ericsson, whoa, he can stop and get restarted, and then he still finishes P6, P7?
P6.
P6.
He was even fighting Roman Grosjean for P5 at the end.
What? Where did he even come from?
I don't know. Suddenly, it was amazing. We're trying to kind of... So at this point, the restart happens. There's 2 green laps to go. Newgarden's dropping like a lead balloon. And we're like, no, this is so cruel to Joseph. No. And then we're looking and we're going, it's really good for Palou. But, that it leaves... You just gutted for Newgarden. And then suddenly you're like...
The camera pans to Grosjean and Ericsson fighting. You're like, it's just like F1 again. Ericsson?
Where did you even come from, Marcus? But he's having his best season in IndyCar today. That's going to be great for him in the championship. Is that 7th or 6th maybe now? I think Pagenaud just about hangs on to
maybe
5th or 6th in that basis. But yeah, Marcus Ericsson, superb race again and superb recovery drive. And I winced. Turn 5 in the last kind of lap or so, they went wheel to wheel, and I'm like going, don't do it for the meme. Do not do it for the meme. Do not go, I think it's Ericsson's fault. Oh no, don't do it. Don't do it. But they didn't do it, and they both had incredible races.
Yeah.
And they were certainly, and it's something you love in IndyCar because, F1, there's such magnificent bits of engineering, but they're so fragile.
Yeah.
You just breathe on it and it goes, my front wing is broken. I've lost so much downforce. Oh no.
Race over. Retire the car.
It's over.
These guys are just like, bam, bam, bam.
And it's like, whoa. Oh God. But yeah, that's kind of highlighting star performer. One of the guys I thought he looks on for it at one point. He really did because he was flying out there. But Alexander Rossi, again, it's so frustrating because he had a brilliant race, but he's finished P7.
Yes. Yes.
Someone will correct us if we're wrong in the comments. It's raw reaction from there. But he's had a superb race. He was fighting up at the top, but it was suddenly he was in that P4 position challenging the top 3 for the podium.
P7.
And then suddenly Dixon was there. And we're like, where did Rossi go? He was one of the ones who...
Where does he go?
Where'd he go? But he was brilliant. He had one of his best ones, making superb moves on teammates. Ryan Hunter-Ray, I remember there was a very good overtake. I don't know if it was turn 1 or 2. It feels like it was there. It might be somewhere completely different on the track, knowing us. But, man, the action was killer.
That's kind of the overall arch and theme. Elbows out, action-packed.
Pato was making great moves throughout at stages, but it just never quite happened. They
struggled all weekend, McLaren.
Yeah, for some reason, as always, Chip Ganassi seemed to have managed when Rossi and Pato had the pace and seemed like they were making the positions to cycle to the right place, and they looked like the guys who had started from deep, who were going to do really well in the race.
Yeah.
Suddenly Marcus and Dixon are there, and you're going.
It was a lot of how the hell have you got it moments.
Yes.
Speaking of potential star performer for Alexander Rossi, shall we have a think back at what our star performers were?
Connor Daly.
What did you go for?
Connor Daly. He did not have one of those great weekends.
P18, I think it was.
He did not have a star performer weekend, no. And halfway through the race, because Sato was looking better, Stephen's like, oh, well, I think we should just scrap the non-results and whoever is the highest should get star performer. I was like, we can't have a star performer if they finish outside the top 10.
We did actually have in Detroit, but sorry, carry on. He just didn't want me to take the lead. And Takuma Sin in P14, he thought he would have his victory in a draw. But Takuma was like, I'm doing this.
This one's for you, Stephen!
Fresh tyres on the restart.
Sato!
I think he made about 3 overtakes on the last lap, or maybe even just 2. Taking Pato. Oh, it was a bittersweet moment. I was like, that's my pick, and that's my driver. Who do I want to come out on top here?
Yeah, it's like chopping off your right hand or your left hand.
Yep. And it turns out it was my right hand I chopped off.
Oh dear. Oh. No Indy fanatics were harmed in the making of this video.
I am the Stephen's 4th clone.
Yes, Stephen is actually a clone. Every time that he shouts Pato, he malfunctions and we have to get the new clone. Pato!
Sometimes, just like Joseph Newgarden, have those technical glitches.
Too soon. Far too soon. Too soon, man. You can't be saying that.
Actually,
the guy is gutted.
Speaking of too soon,
he's come to Indy Fanatics at the end. He's like, you know what's going to cheer me up? Indy Fanatics enthusiasm for IndyCar.
I mean, we've already hit him with the hello, Palou.
Yeah, that would do it. Yeah,
I think you would have switched off then.
Yeah. You know what? That probably would do it. Yeah.
But speaking of too soon moments, and one of my highlights of the weekend was an interview of Oliver Askew, where he described, someone was asking how it was to be driving a one-off race again. He was like, it's just like riding a bike.
Oh wait, no! Oh wait, no, VK, no, I didn't, no. The genuine fear on his face. He was just like, I'm so sorry. Oh my God, I didn't even think about that. Bike, me here because bike, him there. Oh, and Askew had a pretty good race, leading laps as well.
Yeah.
And that caution had just come a lap sooner.
Although it turns out, if it came a lap sooner, he would have been worse off.
Yes.
Because if the race finished under caution, then it's like, yeah, he should have stayed out another lap. If he stayed out another lap, he would have won, but he would have cycled way further back than he actually did.
Would have done. So, a solid return, I think. Yeah. Considering that Ed Carpenter Racing didn't have much pace.
No.
Yeah. For both drivers, just didn't. I mean, Oliver Askew probably maybe understandable because it's his first drive for Ed Carpenter Racing ever.
Yeah.
But still did it. Yeah, but what a race. Will Power has to say, it's a great result. It's not it's a podium. It's a good result for him.
Considering where he made up 2 positions, didn't he?
Considering Penske's luck this season, it's a great result for Will Power.
Yeah, true.
Because, they've just gone from there, but he's still over 100 points out on the championship. He's out of it. He's got nothing to lose. Man. And Colton Herter, even with that 3rd place. Nope.
2nd. He was a bit of a dark horse under the radar.
Yeah, Colton Herter was 2nd place, still over 100 points, I think, away in the championship. I don't know, but just out of it.
Last driver to mention before we conclude this reaction is Max Chilton finishing P10.
Did he get P10?
P10 for Carlin. Best result for Carlin this season.
It's our local boy, Max Chilton. We live in Redhill, which is about 5 minutes away from Reigate. So, go on, Max.
And he led a couple of laps.
He did.
So there we go.
So well done.
Decent
well done, Max.
Very solid. Very solid from them.
Up the Surrey, boy.
Maybe, I know I said that was the last one, but
it was such a good race.
This reaction has been full of triumphs like Max Chilton and heartbreaks like Joseph Newgarden.
Do you want to bring it up one more time for him? Do you want to bring it up one more time? If he hadn't turned off by this point, he's like, you know what? I'm going to give them one more chance. Like heartbreaks like Joseph Newgarden. It's too painful. I can't bear to go on.
But he can share his burden of heartbreak with Jack Harvey. He was there for the whole race. And then they went for a crazy strategy at the end just to keep him out. And he was never going to meet the fuel mileage and be competitive. And he just went falling further and further back. I don't even know where he's finished in the end. He's finished P17.
Isn't it frustrating that Marshank's best strategy all season has come with Jackie boy.
That's the weekend. Heartbreaks and triumphs.
Oh, really it was.
Action and elbows.
But Palou regains the championship lead, and I just feel at this stage now, with the complete package that they've got going, it feels like it's Chip Ganassi's season.
Yeah.
Again. And I think as fantastic as Pato's doing, and they will keep fighting, and it's still too early to write off Arrow McLaren, I just think the experience of Chip Ganassi will mean it will go down to the wire between Palou and Dixon.
Whoa, actually, I haven't agreed to this. Pato's going to be there. He's only 20 points behind. Arrow McLaren made great strides.
Yeah, I just think over the course of the season, it will naturally whittle
Over
down.
the course of the season? We're over the halfway, mate. It's not like we're in race 4 or 3 here.
Do you know when you see a bee nest and you go, let's poke it?
Pato was the first guy to win 2 races this season.
And do you know who's the second? Palou! Oh, jeez. Right, okay. Look, that's it. That's your race reaction. We hope you enjoyed it. God, we watched the French GP earlier in the day and we're going, it's a pretty good race. France always gets a bad reputation, but you know what? That was a pretty great race between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton fight. You know, it was good. You know, closing laps changed for the lead. Road America, it said, boys, let's watch a real racing series. Come on now. F1, you're amazing. You look pretty. You have very special buttons. Lots of them.
Very special buttons.
You have
a magic button we've been told about.
Oh, yes. We heard about the magic brake button. Silly button. Silly button to put on a 7-time world champion. Silly button. So,
where's this reaction going?
I don't know. Road America IndyCar is freaking awesome. And the season continues to be incredible.
Yep.
Incredible season. And I'm sure there will be plenty more highs and lows along the way. But let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Were you there? Let us know how you enjoyed the race. I think we know Royal Stygian was there. He saw Kevin Magson's overtakes in like turn 1 and watched turn 5. Obviously, that was an awesome part of the racetrack as well. So plenty of action for those. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're new around here, haven't done so already, and you enjoy whatever this is,
you can like, subscribe, and ding that bell.
Dig it. So for now, you Indy fans, keep racing.